Hey guys, it's your old pal Caleb. I have been getting a lot of comments to do this, so yeah, welcome to the top 10 perverted anime. So let's see some ecti. Number 10, School Days. There's a reason that this is way at the bottom. Why? This is the worst fucking anime in the history of the world. I absolutely hate it. It is the only anime that I have ever hated. It was really good, but that ending ruined the entire show. It's like halfway through the show, the writer rage quitted and dragged his ball sack right across it. He just wiped his ball sack right over it. It is the worst anime in the history of the world. So, I'm half tempted to give a spoiler just so that you won't watch it. You know what? No. I'll include it in the description. You can choose to read it. But whatever you do, do not watch this anime. So, it starts off with this guy named Itou, and he gets infatuated with this girl he sees on a bus. That's the girl standing up with the black hair right there. He becomes infatuated with her, and he heard about this thing called the cell phone charm. Apparently, if you take a picture of someone on your cell phone, and no one finds out about it, and you keep it on your phone for 3 weeks, with no one finding out about it, that person will fall in love with you. So, he takes a picture of her without her knowing, and he's looking at the picture in class, and the girl next to him sees it, unfortunately. That's the girl holding the cell phone right there. And, she tries to get the two of them together, and she succeeds, but in the process, she too falls in love with Itou. And Itou decides to cheat on the first girl and start going out with the second girl. And then a third girl asks him out. And this just continues until he dated literally every girl in the school. And not only did he date all of them, but he had sex with each and every one of them. It is terrible. And that's not even the worst part. I'll include it in the description. You'll understand how terrible it is. Like the whole sex thing, it is nothing compared to what happened. I still can't poop right. Number 9, Eroge Ergo. This was actually a pretty good anime. It was actually pretty damn good. So, there's this guy, I can't remember his name. I have not seen this anime in a long time, but he rides these things called air gears. They're basically roller skates, but they're motor powered, They have motors in them, and let me just tell you, I really want a pair of those. But yeah, it's a really fascinating anime, and if you start a gang of people who ride air gears, they're known as a gang of storm riders. And so he starts his own storm rider gang, and they're all a bunch of perverts, and a bunch of stuff happens. One thing, I wish this one had more ecti. I definitely list it under it, but I don't know. I just feel there isn't enough in here. Nothing perverted happens until episode 6, and even then it's not that bad. And I just wish there was more in it. So yeah, that is number 9. Number 8, Chobits. So, Chobits is about, it's not exactly in the future, but they have one piece of technology that we do not have. They're robots called persicoms, and they're basically, robots that are like your personal assistant. But there's this guy, I can't think of his name. I'm terrible with names. No, it's not that I'm terrible with names, I just haven't seen this anime in a long time. I need to rewatch these. Except for School Days. Not the point, I'm getting off track. So, Chobits is about this guy, and he's poor. He doesn't have enough money to find a persicom. But one day when he's walking home, he sees one, in a trash heap, and he decides, hey, why not take it home? Maybe it works. So, and it sort of worked, except a all it could do was say chi, and it had like the mind of a baby. And like whenever he tried to analyze it, it either just said no data, or like the computer or Perscom trying to scan it just completely crashed. Not good. And he later finds out that she's a rare species known as a Chobit. And I'm not going to get further into that, as to what Chobits are. I don't want any spoilers, but it definitely is a very interesting series. I totally recommend it. Number 7, Baka and Test. This is a very, very good anime. So Baka and Test is about, well, in case you don't know, Baka is Japanese for idiot. So you can tell that idiots and tests are a good combination. So there's this guy named Akahisa Yoshi, but everyone calls him Yoshi. And at his school, the kids are divided by how smart they are. The smartest kids are in class A, while the lowest kids are in class F. And in Japan, in case you don't know, they have E's in Japan for grading systems. So, there's class E too. But, so Yoshi is obviously stuck in class F, but, he's stuck in class F with a bunch of other idiots, but there are 2 girls that are actually pretty smart, but they got stuck in class F when they shouldn't have. The one on the left, that's Minami. She really belongs in class B, but the reason she's in class F is because she's originally from Germany, so she can't read kanji, and so she wasn't able to read the questions on the test, the placement test that decides where they go for the rest of the year. Himeji, she can read kanji. She's definitely Japanese, but she got really sick and she collapsed halfway through the quiz, and so she was given an automatic 0. But she's really the smartest kid in the school. Well, actually, it didn't really say. It's either her or this other girl. I can't remember her name, but she's the class rep of Class A. I think Yumichi's smarter, but that's not the point. Yeah. And it is definitely one, again, that I would totally recommend. It is a very good anime. It is very interesting. Oh, one thing, I can't believe it slipped my mind. So how it works here, they have Class A has, these super fancy materials. The stuff to work with, school materials, while Class F, they have kindergarten tables, and to sit on, they have empty pillowcases. Not even joking. And so, basically, there are these things called ST Wars, or Summoner Test Wars. Now, each student is able to summon what's known as an avatar. Basically, these tiny stand-ins who can fight, as you can tell by the symbol to the right of Baka and Test, the guy with the sword. That's actually Yoshi's avatar. And basically they can summon them, and their fighting ability is based on how smart the user is. And basically an ST war is they can declare an ST war with another class, and basically their avatars would then fight each other. And whoever wins, if a lower ranked class beats a higher ranked class, they get to swap materials with them. And basically Class F is trying to work their way up, so that way they don't have to use crappy kindergarten tables and and cushionless pillowcases. It is a very good show. Again, one I extremely recommend. I can guarantee satisfaction, or your money back. Number 6, Sucky Way. This one is definitely interesting. This is a very good one. It is definitely very ecto harem. It's very good. So basically, there are these people known as Sucky Rays, and they're people who were created by this mad scientist, and they have these special powers. Each Sucky Ray's power is different, and there are also people who are normal people, but they have some unique power that they're born with or whatever. I don't know. But they're known as Ashikabis, and if they were to kiss a Sekirei, then the Sekirei becomes sort of like their servant, but not exactly. So once 95% of the Sekirei are awakened, then they all have to duel each other. A kiss is when it's awakened, in case I didn't mention that. Kiss from Nashikabi. And so there's this guy who gets 4. Those are the 4, as you can tell right there. And it's very interesting. It's a very good anime. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I have not yet finished it yet, but I am hot on the track of doing that. Very good anime. I totally suggest it. Number 5, Aesthetica of a Rogue Hero. Now, despite this cover, it is not a harem anime. I thought it was, but it's still very, very good. I can guarantee it. Like, I usually only watch the harem-y ones, but I still really, really enjoyed this one. So it's about this guy named Akatsuki, and I don't care about you, Lumberjack Bob. Sorry. And Akatsuki, well, basically, in this world, people, like, are randomly, like, disappearing and being teleported to a whole nother world. And somehow there they gain, like, special fighting powers or whatever. I don't know. But when they come back, they're, like, super good at fighting. But some of them are able to make their way to, like, the Otherworld Gate, I think it's called. It's a portal that will return them to the normal world. But this high school was created for people who had been teleported there and came back. And basically they train them to fight because they have special fighting powers, and some of them can even use magic. They train them to fight to become potential heroes. So it's definitely an interesting anime. Although the 4 there, they're not part of his harem, but they are his like main targets because he is a huge pervert. So yeah, definitely one I recommend again. Number 4, High School of the Dead. This is a very good one. It never really goes into detail on this one. I mean, it's like it never explains where the zombies came from or it never shows how they stop the zombies in the end. Clearly it's about zombies, you can tell that much. It's definitely very good though. I mean, it almost feels like it starts in the middle, and if not, it definitely stops in the middle. Basically, like, there's this kid, I cannot remember his name, but he's, like, just, on campus, he's just staring off, and, on the other side of the gate, there's, like, this guy banging on it, and some teachers go to check it out, but then, the guy out of nowhere grabs the PE teacher's arm and bites it, and the PE teacher turns into a zombie, bites the principal, and then they all just start killing each other, and then, everyone in the school is starting to become zombies, and then it spreads to the whole town, the whole world. It's not good at all, and he and a select few, including a nurse, a cocky girl who seems to think she's a genius, the class nerd who's also apparently extremely talented with a gun. That was surprising. And his ex-girlfriend. So, lots of drama there. What makes it especially dramatic is her current boyfriend turned into a zombie, and who had to kill him but him. Yeah. But they ended up getting back together anyway. Yeah. It's a very good one. I definitely recommend it. It's a very good anime. You should totally watch it. Now, Data Live. Where to even begin with this one? No, this one is incredible. I greatly love it. It is just so amazing. I actually just finished a watch-a-thon. I just finished watching the show, and I want to watch it again. And again, and again. Seriously, this is more addicting than Death Note, which is pretty hard to top. Okay, nothing can be more addicting than Death Note, but that's not the point. So Data Live, so basically, there are these things called spatial quakes, and basically, like, out of nowhere, a huge explosion, comes, and so people have to retreat into these like safe bunkers. And this guy, well, basically, it turns out they happen when spirits appear. So spirits, like when a spirit appears to Earth, everything around them blows up, whether they want it to or not. Most spirits are actually like really good. They, mostly just like really good people, but they have to kill him anyway. Because there's explosions, and so if you look on the one to the very right, that is the first spirit to ever appear, and the one just to the left of her, her name is Origami, and she is one of the people who has to kill spirits. So basically, like, apparently there are two ways to deal with spirits, as we found out. One, kill them, or two, you have to make them fall in love with a human. I know, it's super cheesy, but it's a very, very good show. Trust me on this. And so every girl you see there is a spirit and falls in love with him. Except the one on the left, the very left, because that's kind of his sister, but she turns out to be a spirit too somehow. But he did end up having to make her fall in love with him. So it got very interesting. Personally, my favorite character is Origami, because like she is like super obsessed with him. Like, she's a stalker basically. I don't know why, but that's just, don't judge me. I don't know. That's just the kind of character I like. It's like she saw that the girl on the right there, why can't I think of her name? The girl on the very right and him have the same lunch, and so she was all, why do you have the same lunch? We bought them at the same store? Wrong. See, I can tell that tray that you have your lunch in, that's the same tray you bought 156 days ago. Very creepy, but don't judge me, okay? Okay? Just don't judge me. Just trust me, you will love the show. You'll fall in love with it. It is incredible. One that I greatly recommend. So, next one, Rosario Vampire. It is an amazing show. Basically, there's this kid named Scoonie. Now, at least in this show, I remember all their names. Why? Because I watched each episode like at least 10 times over. I'm still super obsessed with it, but I don't watch it as much because I've seen every episode too many times. I can't wait for season 3. When's it gonna come? Okay, off topic. So there's this kid named Scoonie Aono, and he fails his entrance exams to high school, which sucks. But and since he failed, he's not able to go to high school. But his dad found like a flyer on the street. That's a good sign. And it's for a high school that doesn't require an entrance exam. So he ends up going there, but what he doesn't know is that it's actually a school for monsters. And basically there, like you're not allowed to show your monster form because like the whole point of the school is to learn to coexist with humans. But if any human was able to make its way inside of the school, they'd be killed immediately. Not good. So he has to keep it a secret that he is in fact a human. The only one that does know is Mocha. She's the vampire. She's the one with pink hair in the middle there. Well, and the one to the right of her, that is also Mocha. You see, she has a split personality. She has this rosary, basically a cross, that's around her neck, and while she's wearing it, she stays in her pink-haired form, but if it's ever removed, then she turns into her true form, an actual vampire. So, yeah, and along the way, he saves the lives of many girls, and they all fall in love with him. The one to the farthest left, that's Mizure. She's my favorite character in that show. I'm sure you know why from the last one. Don't judge me! Yes, very stalker. The one to the right of her, that's Kurumu. Oh, wait, Mizure, by the way, is an ice woman. She has the power to control ice, obviously. The one to the right, That's Kurumu. She's a witch, and she's actually a little kid. She's 10, I think, but she skipped a whole bunch of grades because she's so smart. And of course, you know the next two. Those are Mocha. The blue-haired chick is Kurumu. She's a succubus. In case you don't know what that is, that's like a girl that has the power to bewitch men, and with their charms, and so, yeah, and the one in the upper left, that's Mocha's sister. You don't meet her until season 2. That's, what's her name? Cocoa. She doesn't have a crush on him, though. She's just really angry at him because when Mocha has the rosary on, you know, she's her pink-haired form, but her little sister, Cocoa, she doesn't like her pink-haired form. She wants, you know, the vampire form 100% of the time, all the time, and she's, like, mad at Scoonie for some reason. Yeah. And upper right-hand corner, that's Ruby. She also has a crush on him, but she's not in too many episodes. She appears at the end of season 1, and she's in every episode in season 2, except she only gets, like, a few lines per episode. So, you know, I'd call her a main character, but, you know, she doesn't really do that much. And in the upper left hand, just to the left of Cocoa, you know, the blurry guy in the background, yeah, that's Gin. You see, together they're all in a club known as the Newspaper Club. And he's the head of the Newspaper Club. He's a werewolf and a total perv. Oh, I forgot to mention, Ruby's a witch, too. And, of course, Cocoa is there. And, yeah, that's just about it. Number 1, High School DxD. Where to start? This is one of the most perverted animes in the world. Probably the number 1. It would be Kiss X Sis, except that one doesn't show full nudity. But that one is still straight up ecchi. This one, of all the shows I've listed so far, this is the only one that shows full nudity. No, I take that back. Sucky Way does as well. But that's not the point. Oh, air gear at one point. Not the point. High School DxD, there's a kid named Issei, and he is more perverted than any boy in the world, except maybe his 2 friends, Matsuda and Motohama. They are somewhat more perverted, but he is, like, one of the world's biggest perverts. Like, even I am not as perverted as he is. But one day this girl named Yuma asks him on a date. And so he goes out with her, but then at the end of the day, she stabs him. And it turns out she's actually what's known as a fallen angel, or basically an angel that's turned evil. You see, there are 3 groups. There's devils, angels, and fallen angels, or angels that have become evil. And there was a 3-way war at one point. But, you know, they had a truce, but they still really don't like each other. But, yeah, Issei died, but Rias, that's the girl with the crown, she, brought him back as a devil. So, and also each devil, is named after a chess piece, you know, depending upon what powers they have. Rias is the king, because, you know, she's the leader. That's the one with red hair. The one to the left with black hair, that is Akano, and she's the queen. The one with white hair, that's, can't think of her name, but she is the rook because she is extremely strong. Kiba, that's the guy with blonde hair in the background there. He is a knight because he is extremely fast. But Issei, unfortunately, and he was really sad about this, Issei is a pawn. With no real, he doesn't really have any real powers, except if he were to get far enough into enemy base, like an angel's church, or a fallen one's angel's church, a fallen angel's church, then he can be promoted to any piece except for the king. And the girl in the lower right hand corner there, she's actually she was actually an angel, but she has the power to heal people, but then when they found out that she had the power to heal devils too, they abandoned her and she had to become a fallen angel. But then another fallen angel killed her, and so because he killed her, he had to Rias brought her back as a bishop and healer for the team. And they go on a lot of adventures. I really like the storyline, and this one also shows full nudity, which I really I won't deny I really enjoyed that. And yeah, it's an all around really good show. I definitely recommend it, and you should totally watch it. So this brings an end to this video. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Didn't like it, give it a thumbs up. Anyway, you know what? Okay, stop. There we go.